conversation here on Lagos television. Civic engagement goes beyond voting during elections or voicing concerns when government's policies affect citizens. It is about how people participate in shaping decisions, demanding accountability, and contributing to the development of their communities. So the question now is, what does effective civic engagement really look like in practice, away from the books? Joining us on the conversation to give answers to this and many more questions that will be asked today, we are joined by a policy development analyst, Otunba Muyiwa Ogunlaja. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, my dear. Good morning.
It's good to have you.
Good morning to our numerous viewers at home.
All right, so in my intro, I asked, what does civic engagement truly mean in practical terms, away from what is written in the books, what is taught in schools? Let's understand what it really stands for.
Thank you. In practical terms, civic engagement really means you living up to expectation, being part of the society, contributing your own quota to the development of the society, embarking on actions that will improve on what you have made, and participating in the eventual decision making. No wonder some people equate civic engagement with what this business theory known as management by objective, where you start setting goals of the agency from the scratch. You start meeting with those on the ground floor, and now come up to get to the 7th floor. So everybody becomes, whatever decision is eventually taken, your inputs are there. So it simply means being alive to your responsibilities and holding the government accountable. There can't be any good display of civic engagement where there is no transparency. So you must hold the government accountable for all actions. And you must also be part of the government. You must be inclusive. Actually, inclusiveness is part of civic engagement. Because when you are not inclusive, when you don't have to sit, then you have not been adequately engaged and you are not performing your duty. Even to the extent that participating in public riots, protests, yes, it's part of civic engagement. But it has to be done within the ambit of the law. You don't have to be destructive. But it is your right to express your opinion, either for, by supporting government actions, or against, by protesting against government actions. So, being idle, sitting on the floor, sitting on the fence, not being on the right or on the left, is actually not expected in a community where the citizens are looked up to as a part of governance. So it is doing everything that to make the community better than you have met it. Those acts cumulatively are what referred to as civic engagement.
Because our conversation is centered around effective civic engagement, the Lagos example. So let's narrow it down now to Lagos. Are Lagosians really given that opportunity to contribute when it has to do with government policies?
You see, opportunities are utilized when information is passed. If information is limited, is hindered, and people do not know the numerous opportunities available, they will not be utilized. Nobody will capitalize on them. So what I'm saying is that there are areas where citizens in Lagos must participate and must work hand in hand with government, and they are there. But the question is, are they aware of these opportunities? That is the question. I know that at the time there was this regular town hall meetings that the governors used to do, and they moved from senatorial district to senatorial district. At the time, it was actually on almost on divisional basis. Instead of the senatorial district, which are only 3, we now move on divisional basis, which are 5. So that's to ensure that you have widespread.
Everyone,
yes. And during the process, leaders of communities, stakeholders are usually invited, including commoners in court, When I say commoners, I mean ordinary Lagosians are invited. And they have the opportunity then to ask questions direct from the governor and listen to him. So it's not that our representative said this. It is, we told him this. We requested for this. And most of the time, those governors and even anybody in government who want to have this first-hand information, which will enable him to formulate policies and now see the feedback of the ones he has done. But the question is, how many of these are now held? Even when they come up, are the citizens adequately informed that town hall meeting will be coming out also day, and the governor will be available, the commissioners will be there, the questions could be asked? What about security? Are they allowed to be overzealous in the discharge of their duties? When you call town hall meeting, I find ordinary men, farmers, peasants, traders come in, and they are barred by security men. Is that town hall meeting? Have they been allowed to express their opinion? So these are the intricacies that must be looked into, so that the gathering will be seen as that avails Lagosians the opportunity of expressing themselves and of listening to government and of giving government feedback on the policies that are being implemented.
Also, taking it down and bringing it down, because again, the local governments are the closest to the people. Yeah. I know that in local governments and LCDAs, the council chairmen organize stakeholders engagements from time to time, engaging residents, community leaders. How is this also helping in building effective civic engagement? Yeah,
I know that most local government councils or area development councils usually conduct this. And they do because, especially when the elections are very near. And they do because they don't want to lose touch with the electorate. Knowing full well that this electorate will be needed for them to cast their votes, which is part of civic engagement anyway. Anybody who is above 18 and who is not registered, who does not have a voter's card, who instead of going to cast his vote on the election day is busy playing football on empty roads, on sparsely populated roads, you are not a good citizen. So you are not performing your duty. So because of that, they hold that in high esteem. They will always want to host these community leaders, and that brings them very near the people. But the lacuna here is that it is often done when elections are near. As soon as elections are gone and they are already sworn in, they forget their grassroots. Actually, some of them who won from Ebitemeta, who won from Ajegule, will move from Ebitemeta and Ajegule to Banana Town or Banana what?
Island.
Banana Island. Those who don't go Banana Island will go Pangrove Island. All these islands in the world, I see. So they will now become, they will now disenfranchise themselves from the people that have supported them, and they will now be there to represent them. So it is, they do it, but just for a purpose. But that should not be the case. At any point in time, the interest of the people must manifest, must be reflected in decision making and in policy formulation.
When we started the program earlier and you were breaking down what civic engagement is all about, you said that it is also about people getting involved actively in, contributing or making their
society better.
And of course, when it has to do with government policies, either preferring solutions or
criticizing
objectively. Yeah. And so again, are citizens aware, apart from complaining about government policies and programs, is it also the responsibility, looking at it from the angle of civic engagement, for residents to also prefer solutions that can influence government policies?
Yes, it is. Let me say that no policy emanates from the sky or from the blues. No. Any government policy, well thought out government policy, will be as a result of people's yearnings and aspirations and their corrections. A good example recently happened, that is not Lagos anyway, but federal government, where the electoral committee, campaign committee of the presidency, the list was withdrawn to be rejigged because people complained that this interest not represented, this interest not represented, this region not adequately represented, so this man has been left out. And because of that, the president thought it wise, in his wisdom, to recall the list and have it rejected. So what I'm saying is that anytime you have a critique of government policy, it is important for that to be looked into. A good government is that government that is responsive to the people's yearnings and aspirations, not that government that will coerce people into suppression and to say, keep quiet, you have done it, you don't know better than us. That will not be so. So it is important for people to criticize objectively, and for these criticisms to be reflected. And that explains why in Lagos State, most of the time, when an act has been passed for the first time or the second reading, it is sent back to the House, and the House now organizes what is called public hearing. That is part of civic engagement. When there is public hearing on this and that, and you now fail to express your opinion, you are not performing your duty. If you now express that opinion, you are doing your civic responsibility, and that should be reflected in the outcome of the decision of the law to be enacted. So it is important that it is done.
Now, we know that we have 3 tiers of government again, and I think I'm going to bring this back to the shoulders of the local government now. When issues affect people, everyone resides in a community, and the community is under a local government or LCDA, using Lagos as an example now. When people have issues that need to be resolved, what are the right channels that they must go through? Because again, anything that happens and people say, oh, it's the president, Tinubu, and Tinubu has said, hold your governors accountable. They have more money, which also means hold your local governments accountable. They have more money. And so what is the right channel, to express your concerns as a citizen?
There is no group of people that will feel complacent when their expectations are not met. Basically, in Nigeria, our expectations are just electricity, security, good roads, abundance of food. That's all. No Nigerian will say government must provide me a job. Most of the time, they don't look at it that way. But government provide me 24 hours power supply. From there, they will provide employment for themselves. You see? No Nigerian will say government, come and do this for me in my house. If actually Nigerians give themselves security, Nigerians should employ security men. Nigerians should give themselves water. This should be done by government. Nigerians give themselves light now, either through solar or through generator. All these are things government should be doing. Now, when they now complain about this, it has to be done through the appropriate channel. That's the problem. But whose fault? Most of the time, people don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. Even those who are learned. I discussed with someone about a week ago about cutting away of waste in their estate. And the PS people have not been coming. They still look very dirty. And then I see the man said, we are going to go to governor's office and complain. And I asked him, what is the problem of governor's office waste not being cutted away? When you have Ministry of Environment there, when you only have lawman office there. So the point of that, how many people know where to go to when these problems arise? If you go to the hospital and you are not properly attended to, instead of going to the complaints board, to the complaints unit of that hospital, or you go to the hospital management, board of that district, or at worst, you come to the Ministry of Health. The next will be, I must complain. I must sue the governor. The governor must hear this. How many would the governor listen to? So these are the issues. But the problem bounces back to government. Have you done adequate enlightenment? How many people are aware that these are the areas they can come to when they are in trouble? Even those ones that are known, are they available? I know that there is a security number, there is this emergency number 767, am I right?
112.
And 112. Is it 767 or
767
and 112? How many times have calls from that place been adequately attended to? At times you will not. So when you have this kind of a thing, people will feel dejected, and that's okay. I will not waste my time. Let me just go straight to the pinnacle. I cannot get to the pinnacle like that because of protocol. So I think basically government must embark on enlightenment first, reorientation of Nigerians. That if this happens, this is what should be done. If in your school your child has been molested, has been abused, this is what should be done. If in your area waste have not been waste disposal vehicles have not been coming, this is what we should do. If you have electricity problem, this is what should be done. So if that is made available and people know this, where to go to, I'm sure most of these complaints will be appropriately lodged and to be attended to. And that problem is when actually some complaints are appropriately lodged, are the responses real time? Do the responses come immediately? If there is a disaster now, let's say there's a soak-away pit that just came in with someone on it, and I now call the fire brigade, and the response is no vehicle. Actually, they will not even know your complaint. The first one will be, I know water in that vehicle. As if the fire brigade is only for fire disaster. No. You cannot call the police for that. It has to be the same fire brigade. But the first thing is for to listen to your complaint and not know what to say. If you have an accident somewhere and some people are trapped in the vehicle, especially if it is a falling container on a vehicle, and you now call the police, it's where did the accident happen? How many people died? Ask you that question at that point in time when you should be on your way, when you should be on your toes. Thank God Lagos State has an agency as Lagos State Emergency
Management Agency.
Yes, yes. Under Dr. One. Okay, I don't want to mention the name. Okay. Who's doing a very good job, and that has assisted a lot. The question now is this: how many people know how to contact that agency? If I ask some of our students, our learners here, now it will be, if this so happened, I want to contact the emergency unit, Lagos State Emergency Unit, who's with an office in Alausa. If they want to come to Alausa, which number will you call? It will be 767 or 116. But they have their own particular number, which is customized to the agency. How many of us do know that? So a lot of enlightenment is needed. My point is that when people know what to do, they will do it appropriately. Okay. But when they don't know what to do, it will be a different story entirely. Still
dwelling on escalating issues or criticizing policies and programs, social media is something that is relevant today, and people are using social media. And so we have seen that people also escalate issues on social media and sometimes get response real time and and all. And so again, how is this also helping effective civic engagement, both on part of government and the people?
I want to believe that one of the advantages, one of the good points for this fire spreading social media is the fact that issues are properly escalated and at times attention given. There's no dispute. There is no government can say you will neglect social media now, especially with our Gen Z generation. They will not know anything that is happening. That's the only thing. Even to the extent that their own news is on the social media. Any news not aired on social media is not news. And as much as it has no disadvantages, the advantages are there. And I think they should be adequately used. I have seen many lives saved through the social media. I have seen lost, dead, found children traced through the social media. I've colleagues saying many lies told through the social media. So it is the good ones that I think we should take. And I want to believe that government will make use of the good one. And in Lagos State, actually, the government will make use of the good one. Even our president, deputy governor, who will soon be the governor, is so used to that anytime there's any official engagement, he will go to the social media and explain it. I know many who follow his page because of that. I say, I have just read it from the governor's page, deputy governor's page. So happened. And it's a lot of information. Because at times, people don't want to listen to the news. Even when they want to listen to it, no power, when there is power, no, maybe perhaps there will be one problem, or that will be the television set. But with your phone, at any point in time, you can listen. My only appeal is that listen and decipher that is proper. There are many other things that are in the social media that should not be allowed. And by the time we now start training our young ones, they will know which ones to read, which ones should not be read. And they should actually not be carried away because of that euphoria. Most of these fire on the mountain news are meant to disrupt the society, to disrupt peace, to cause chaos, and they should not be taken hook, line, and sinker. They should look at it objectively before they assimilate.
So talking about the power of social media now, because again, you've talked about the generation, the Gen Z, they seem to be very active on social media, very loud on social media.
Very loud.
And how important is it for them to, away from social media, also get actively involved in governance, get actively involved in civic and participation?
Thank you. There is this belief amongst this generation that they are very young, and because they are young, they should be allowed to participate in government. Thank God there was this policy at the time, not too young to rule, and that they should be allowed to participate. But the questions I often ask them is that, at that young age that you are now, what efforts have you made to participate in government? Do you think anybody just give you governance on a platter of gold and say, young boys and girls, come and form government? Now you, how old are you? 25. You are not the governor of Lagos State. You, how old are you? 30. Oh, you are okay. You are the minister for justice. No, it's not that. You have to fight for it. But they cannot fight for it because they have not been adequately equipped. They are not equipped. Somebody cannot even speak outside. You find a graduate, but the way he speaks, you would think that you are just going to the primary school. And this is someone with a BSc, MSc degrees. So the point is that they have a lot to do. They have allowed the euphoria of the time to take over their senses. To the extent that even the way they write letters now, it is Gen Z way. How you day? Instead of how are you? Something like howdy. Howdy. What does that mean?
How do you do?
That's it. So that culture has eroded into the fabrics of decent society. And when they now talk, they see it as their right, which is not so. You must work for it. When we were in school, when we were about to graduate years back, I don't want to scare them, but to be candidate in 1981, University of Lagos then, we went to graduate in 1981. There was this urge that the way to live, after leaving school, I'll buy a first car. It will be a Beetle. But the Beetle was just about 1,200. But that 1,200, by that salary was only 120,000 naira. A lot of money.
20 naira.
Yes, but though then we had cars like 504, we had cars like Pony, the improved version of Beetle. Beetle was just 2 doors, Pony was 4 doors with AC. Then we had cars like Mercedes-Benz. We never said we were going to buy Mercedes-Benz because we knew we could not make it immediately to get the money for Mercedes-Benz. But ask anybody investing and graduating this year, which car want to be your first car? A Lamborghini, of a Jalini. Or what? So that kind of thinking has eroded the confidence people have in them. As a result, they cannot be in government. So until they purge themselves, that governance means sacrificing, starting. Start with your being a local government councillor. Do a lot of good things in your area. Improve on that and contest for the chairmanship. Do many things in your area. Improve on that. You want to go to gubernatorial candidate, want to come gubernatorial candidate. All those people you have improved their lives when you are the councillor, when you are the chairman of the council, will now come and say, yes, he has done this in our area. Give us pipe and water. He tied our roads. He gave us town hall. We could see him anytime we needed. He assisted us. He did that. And that become your foot soldiers. But theirs is just to become the governor of the state straight away, or to be the commissioner straight away. And in fairness, some of their parents are not helping them. Especially those parents who are already in politics, who believe that politics is a family hegemony. The moment they are old and want to live You just bring a boy, I just left the university. That's my slot. Instead of making me the chairman, that's my slot for my son. Make my son the chairman of the board or the commissioner. And what do you expect? So that's why you have this law among them, and they are disinterested. But they should know that they must start somewhere. They should not expect power to be given to them on the platter of gold. They must work for it. They must engage in it. They must attend town hall meetings. They must participate in community development. They must cast their votes and be counted. They must equally ensure that their society knows that they are there. Not that you just go in the morning, come back in the evening, and the next thing you are saying, I want to be governor. No. You have to.
All right. You also established that civic engagement must include transparency, accountability, inclusivity in governance. And so, again, demanding accountability from leaders as part of what civic engagement is all about. And so when all these needs are met, now what are the responsibilities of the citizens themselves?
Now, as citizens, you don't just sit and fold your hands. No. It's like what Okunko said in the book Things Fall Apart, that if a man comes to my house and defecates on the floor, what do I do? Do I just look at him? He said, no, I will take a stick and break his head. That's what a man does. You have appointed someone as governor of the state or as councillor of your area, and nothing is being done, and you're just looking at the person. You have the power of recall. You can come together and say, our council is not doing very well. All we need to do is just let one of us sign this letter of recall. The match append your signature. Let's go and submit. The recall process will start. How many of our young ones know this? How many have actually applied that? That's number one. Number two, nothing stops from being a whistleblower. Actually, in Nigeria now, whistleblowers are, apart from being protected, they're equally appreciated. But you must ensure that you blow the whistle appropriately and correctly. Don't aim at blackmailing someone, because slander, blackmail, they are not. You won't be good friends of the court. So that should be noted. So you can do that. You can whistleblow and bring it out. Then aside from that, you don't necessarily have to do all that at times. At times, you can just write another note or a letter. Say, I observed this. This ought to have been done. This ought to have been done from anonymous. Put it in the box. You don't have to mention your name. And if you are bold enough, put your name there and say, I'm ready for invitation, so as to establish my points or to prove my allegations. That's all. But are they ready to do all this? So these are, when you have a government that has publicly claimed that it's transparent, is accountable, is this, and there are loopholes here and there that you have observed, do something. In a civilized climate, it is said that if you see something, say something and do something. Don't just see it and keep quiet and not do anything. So how many of us will see something, will say something, and do something? Let us take that on that.
That's a good note to end the conversation here. You can also say that civic engagement is about saying something, doing something, be actively involved. That is what civic engagement is all about. Thank you so much, Otunba Muyiwa Ogunlaja. He is a policy development analyst, for sharing insights on the topic effective civic engagement, the Lagos example. Thank you again for your time. The program continues shortly. Stay with us.